Hey there, Angular folks, and welcome back. If you're using signal forms with async validation, you've probably run into this. You either debounce every validator with the debounce function, or you end up hitting your API on every keystroke. Neither is great. But Angular 22 fixes this in a really clean way. Let's jump in and see how it works. Here we have a pretty standard sign-up form. If I start typing a username, you'll notice I can type really slowly without triggering any validation or pending messages while validators are running. This is because this field is debounced, and I've exaggerated the time to make it obvious. We're waiting for the user to stop typing before we run our validation. But in this case, the username test already exists, so now we see our error message. This particular field is set up with an async validator, which we'll see in a minute. Now, if I jump down and type in the email field, we see the exact same behavior. I can type really slow without triggering anything. Then we get the pending message while validation is running. And then that's followed with an error message letting us know this email is already registered. This form is built using Angular's new Signal Forms API. And this email field is using the validateHttp function for validation. Now, to better understand how we can improve this, let's look at how it's currently wired up. Here, we're looking at the template for the form component. Right here, we have the username field. Notice the form field directive binding directly to our username field. Just below that, we have our pending message, which shows up when the control is in a pending state. This state occurs while the async validator processes the async logic. And then we have our errors list displaying any validation errors like when the username is taken. If we scroll down a bit, we have the email field. It works exactly the same way. It's bound to the email control. It has its own pending message and its own errors list. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? Now let's switch over to the component TypeScript. Here's our model signal holding the state for our sign-up form. And right below that is our form declaration using the form function from Signal Forms. If we scroll down to the username validation, we're using validateAsync. It takes some params, runs a factory function to check availability, and handles onSuccess and onError states. But look right below it. This is where we are handling the debounce. We have to call the debounce function separately. But here's the catch. This standalone debounce function applies to the entire field. That means it debounces all validators, even synchronous ones like required or min length. And this is an issue because it delays instant feedback for simple checks just to accommodate our async call. Not a huge problem, but certainly not ideal. And if we scroll down, we have validateHttp for the email field. It's the exact same story. We define our request, onSuccess, and onError. And then we have to tack on the debounce function at the end. Well, with Angular 22, it looks like we'll have a better approach available. The Angular team added a new debounce option directly into the validation functions. Let's scroll back up to our username validator. First, I'm going to delete this old debounce function call. Now, inside validateAsync, I can just add the debounce property right within the configuration object. That's it. So before, debounce was applied at the field level, but after, it's applied at the validator level. This is important because async validation is fundamentally different from synchronous validation. It's network bound, not CPU bound. So it should be controlled independently. If you've been working with Angular for a while, you've probably built up a lot of solid skills, but there's not always a clear way to validate them. Certificates.dev offers an Angular certification created and maintained by Google developer experts with junior, mid, and senior levels. It covers modern Angular signals, forms, routing, and more, and includes proctored exams with both multiple choice and coding challenges. It's also used by hundreds of companies worldwide. So if you're looking for a way to actually showcase your Angular skills, it's definitely something worth checking out. I'll put a link in the description if you want to take a look. Let's save and try this out. Let's type in the username field again. Now, any synchronous validators would fire instantly, but our async check waits for the debounce just like the original example. We see the pending message just like we used to. And then we get our validation error message. So our async logic works the same, but we're no longer holding up the rest of the validators tied to this control. And the best part? This works for validateHttp too. Let's switch back over to the component TypeScript. Again, I'll remove the standalone debounce function for the email field. And I'll add it directly inside the validateHttp options instead. Let's save and try it out now. This time, I'll enter an email address. When we type slowly, we can see that it's still debounced properly. We see the pending message. And then there's our validation error. Cleaner, simpler, and better, right? So the key shift here is simple. Debounce is no longer a field level concern. It's a validator level concern. That means better UX, cleaner code, and no more trade-offs between responsiveness and API calls. If you're building complex forms in large enterprise apps, this small change reduces boilerplate and keeps your validation logic co-located with the validator where it belongs. And signal forms are still new, and most developers haven't touched them yet. If you want to get ahead of that curve, I've put together a full course that walks through everything in a real-world app. You can find the link in the description below, so check it out. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, I'll see you in the next one.